Hi there folks, Riath here from tabletopminis.com and welcome to a questions and answers episode 6, I believe this is. So it's been quite a while since we did the last one, and I was trying to make these quite regulars, but we kind of fell off the wagon the last few month or two. But yeah, I hope to do them more regularly from now on. It's really good getting questions from you and answering them, get the interactivity, and just letting you know what we're doing, and it's quite a good series, I think. So we'll just go to the last episode, which is episode 5, and we'll go through the questions on there. And then after that, I want to give you a little tour of the studio, what we've done, where we're playing and making our battle reports now, and just a bit of a chit chat about the channel. So that'll come after this Q&A. So I'm just going to look through the comments here from that last Q&A, and let's see what questions we have. So we have Hooves of Doom. He's saying, tell us your plans for Hobby Room 2.0. And Vincent saying, indeed, what's the idea about that? More tables, more mini storage? Well, I guess we're going to show you after these questions our new setup. We've moved into the house, and it's much more comfortable playing environment, and we've improved our lighting and a whole load of other things. So we'll get to that after we run through these questions. Stephen Thomas, he's saying, hi guys, I have a question about the aesthetic going forward. The Sigmarites look like early Space Marines, and the Chaos also look closer to 40k. Do you think that the new elves will look more like early Eldar? Also, what about the dwarfs? I remember the 40k squats. Do you think it will go in that direction? It's a good question. I think the elves, they're definitely going to change the theme of the elves, I think. I mean, I don't think it's just going to be a kind of, there'll be some of the characteristics that you're familiar with, I imagine, but I'm not exactly sure how they're going to change. But I'm not expecting the same elves, the same aesthetic. I'm expecting something different. I just hope they don't go too far and make them into, kind of quasi-futuristic elves, like the Sigmarites. So yeah, what else do we have? Vincent saying, can you guys maybe combine these Q&A with some rumor new release talk about Age of Sigmar and maybe some others, as I really like hearing all of your ideas and stuff on the upcoming releases. Yeah, we can maybe talk a little bit about some of the rumors and new stuff coming out. Let's see. Darvid Oba is saying, can't wait to see more of the epic battles. Do you own any models of the Warhammer Forge or Forge World? There are rules for some of these fantastic miniatures, Chaos Dwarves and Tamerkan Chaos. Would love to see them in your armies. Well, we did think about getting a Tamerkan Horde from Forge World a few months back, but we opted to go for Undead and Skaven instead. Maybe at some point we'll have to see. There's so much cool stuff coming out from Games Workshop for Age of Sigmar. There's rumors that we're going to get Dwarf Fire Slayers in January. That's not very far away, and the new Archaon models out. I'm sure you've seen that. There's plenty of really cool stuff from Games Workshop. So don't really feel like a need to dip into Forge World yet, but yeah, I love Forge World models, and I think they're definitely cool and unique. I guess the problem with Forge World is, most people like to watch battle reports with armies that they either have or are quite familiar with, I think. And these sort of specialist armies like Tamerkan's Horde or the Chaos Dwarfs from Forge World, they're really nice to see, but I don't know whether you can use them so many times and keep getting the interest to watch them, because not many people actually have the armies. It's like I prefer to watch battle reports with Blood Angels, all the armies that I play, High Elves, that type of thing. So that's one consideration, but it doesn't rule them out, for sure not. Kevin Mitchell saying, when are you guys going to show a battle rep with the Dreadhold rules? Looking forward to seeing the new scenery in action. Well, you would have seen a couple now already. We're almost completed the painting on the whole Dreadhold. I've just got a few bits to do on this last Skull Keep, and then that's done. We may come back and add in some extra details and do a bit more work on the Dreadhold, but I think it's good enough for tabletop now. So a lot of our Age of Sigmar battle reports will definitely be using that. And who knows, we might even use the Dreadhold in 40k or Frostgrave, or I guess we'll see. Try and get as much mileage out of it as we can. Personally, I'm really impressed with the Games Workshop scenery, and I'm coming from a background where I'm used to building my own scenery completely from scratch. When the days when there was no plastic scenery kits, where you'd use foam or books and like anything you can find around the house basically to make your battlefield. And I do think that there's a lot of merit in doing that, and you can get a lot of enjoyment and creativity and satisfaction from custom building your own scenery. But the plastic stuff is amazing detail, and it looks really good on the battlefield. So I would say this goes for all of the Games Workshop plastic scenery sets. The more I use them, the more I'm becoming a fan of them. That's really, I guess that's not really the direction that I'd like to go. I'd like to custom make more stuff, and I'm sure we will. But yeah. 1 second. So yeah, I'm a really big fan of the new Games Workshop plastic scenery, and I think we're going to use more and more of it. And I think we will add in our own bits here and there where we've got time and so on, just to vary up the battlefield. Okay, what else do we have? Marta Sasula is responding to a question on our miniatures cabinet. So that miniatures cabinet that we have, I'll show you in a few minutes, is from Lidl, and they sell it across Europe. So it's quite good. I really like it. I would definitely recommend it. Okay. E-Tron, aka Norty, is saying, I use the Vallejo matte varnish as it can be watered down, and I do 3. Do you guys play 30k, and if so, what legions do you like or have? So we've just started 30k. I'm collecting salamanders, and Yahya is collecting world eaters, and really enjoying that, really enjoying getting into the Horus Heresy. We'd read the background and listened to a lot of the audiobooks previously, this sort of a year ago, more than that, and it's really nice to get some miniatures and actually play the game now. So yeah, enjoying that. Okay, and now we've got Spitmaster. He's asking, I really love the Frostgrave reports and the warbands. Have you thought about which combination of wizards and warbands are going to be the best? I want to make an undead warband using Age of Sigmar models. What do you think about that? Well, I think you can use any sort of models really with Frostgrave. That's one of the really good things about it. Any wizards that you loved from 20 years ago, then miniatures, or you can basically pull models out of any part of your collection and put them together. So yeah, that's a big plus of it. Terry Kirk, he's saying, in terms of other games, have you played Bolt Action? Some interesting mechanics and cool World War II minis. No, we haven't tried Bolt Action yet. I've did a little bit of looking at it, and also that's from Warlord Games. I think there's a new game, Gates of Antares, that's come out, and it uses similar mechanics to Bolt Action. But yeah, we've got so much on our plate, taking on another game system I think right now is probably a bit optimistic, but maybe we will at some point. I think we tend to stick to Games Workshop games more so than others, and also fantasy games. So rather than going for the sort of historical side, we're more fantasy oriented. And when you set up your Age of Sigmar battles, do you talk about what you're bringing in advance, or just set up until somebody stops? In the games I have played, we sort of discuss what we bring ahead of time as opposed to the way the game seems to intend. Yeah, we just basically just pick models and put them on the table, and we both agree to that this is what we want to play. There's a few comments in our last few battle reports about balance, and we knew this side was going to win before you guys even started, etc., etc. But I mean, Age of Sigmar is not meant to be perfectly balanced, otherwise they would have added points values, and even then it wouldn't be perfectly balanced. So I don't think you need to use a system unless you feel like you need to use a system. So we're gonna in our next few Age of Sigmar battle reports, we're gonna use a few of the different types of they've got sort of points like SDK and Azure Comp and stuff like that. We're gonna just try and balance armies using them and just see how it works, because I think it's quite simple to do, but I don't really want to rely on a third-party system to to be able to play the game. So I don't think it's necessary. And if you have games where the armies aren't equally balanced, I think in Age of Sigmar that's fine. I mean, they were obviously intending that armies aren't balanced because they've got rules for if you have this many more models, then you go into sudden death. If you they take whatever models you want. There's no real restriction on how many elites or heroes and monsters and stuff. So it depends. If you watch the battle reports and you think that it's not competitive because the armies aren't balanced and they need to be balanced and they need to be balanced by a point system, then I don't really think that Age of Sigmar is about that. But yeah, I mean, you can use it. There's no harm in using it. I don't think there's any harm in not using it. I mean, as long as you're having fun with your miniatures, does it really matter? I mean, for us anyway, we're not really so focused on who wins and who loses. We're not that competitive normally. I mean, there can be competitive games, but with Age of Sigmar, I think it's more about just having fun and just using the miniatures you like, playing through a scenario that has some interesting rules, and just whatever happens. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have? Harry's Fotiades saying, I would really like to see you guys use the YouTube Twitch instead of Hangouts. The sound and video quality is much better. Also, I would be pleased if you do a bat rep with vampire counts. Keep doing great stuff. Well, thanks, Harry's. We don't do the Hangouts very often, the paint-episodes, especially recently. We've not done many. I think what we're probably likely to put effort into, rather than running paint-episodes, is doing modeling and painting videos, and then they'll be higher quality, obviously, because our internet connection isn't great. Our upload speed is low, so when we do a live stream, whether that's on Twitch or Google Hangouts, the video quality is poor, and there's nothing we can do about that. Where we live, there's no option to upgrade the internet to anything better than it already is. So I think what we'd likely do is probably come away from the live streaming and go more towards additional content in the form of painting, modeling videos, and things that aren't battle reports. So yeah, but I do the idea of using Twitch and stuff is quite good, but yeah, I don't really think we're going to go that way, mainly because of our internet connection. Doc Raven saying, please do more specialist games. I love Mordheim, BFG, things like that, and I would love to see more Frostgrave. I really like your work, keep it on, and if it would be possible to focus a bit more on these games instead of Age of Sigmar, that is something that makes your channel special against all others out there on YouTube. Yeah, we love doing specialist games. With the Games Workshop announcement that specialist games are coming back, that's a huge plus for us. We feel like it's, all the games that we love, we're likely to get a re-release in some form at some point. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's in 6 months or in 2 years. If you know that Games Workshop are making an effort towards that, then it feels, because it's really, you don't really want to play a discontinued game because it's hard to find people to play against. It's hard to get the miniatures. Having a game mainstream game that's supported is really important. It's fine to keep a collection that you loved and you enjoyed playing when it was in print, and you can continue to play it, and with the likes of Blood Bowl, for an example, many decades onwards, it's really, really successful. But I think it's a really good step Games Workshop have made. Excuse me, I'm still trying to get over this cough. Really good step that they've made, and I'm looking forward to doing more specialist games. I guess our main games right now are Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40,000, and we're going to get into 30k, doing a lot of Horus Heresy battle reports. And really all the other specialist games are kind of here and there. Because, you know, you might love specialist games more than anything else. Like you said, you love Mordheim and Battlefleet Gothic, but, you know, when you look at the population of YouTube battle report viewers, the main majority of them aren't Mordheim and Battlefleet Gothic fans. They're Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Horus Heresy. You know, the big mainstream games that are supported are the ones that people want to watch because they have access to the models for a reasonable price. They have access to players to play against because, you know, if you go into a Games Workshop store, you go into your local independent game store, there's lots of people that are playing them games. So they're a lot more popular. So, you know, already being in miniature wargaming, we're quite a niche channel. You know, there's not many channels that do, you know, high quality video battle reports. So we really need to, within that niche, if we form a niche within a niche, our channel is likely not to grow, and if it doesn't grow and it doesn't become successful, then, you know, it's likely to, at the end of the day, fail. So we need this channel to be popular for us to continue doing it. So it's not just about personal preference. But saying that, you know, if I was a Mordheim fan, only a Mordheim fan, and I didn't like 40k, I didn't like Age of Sigmar, I wouldn't do it anyway. You know, but I wouldn't start a channel probably just for one or two of them games. Unless it was kind of a very limited amount of time and effort put towards it. So yeah, it's a hard one. I can't really do more specialist games unless, you know, Games Workshop release some specialist games and then the public have access to them, and they're getting played more and people want to watch them more, and then it's a different kettle of fish. But the specialist games for me are like Blast from the Past. You know, the kind of, it's nice to get metal miniatures out now and again because, you know, you don't get the metal miniatures anymore from Games Workshop, and kind of a bit of nostalgia, a bit of reminiscing over some of the epic campaigns that we did when we were younger, that kind of thing. But, you know, yeah, we want to keep it kind of, you know, exciting and fresh every time we bring out one of them old box sets. So we don't want to overdo it, and I think 40k and Age of Sigmar and 30k and Horus Heresy I think is probably the way to go. Okay, so enough of that, let's get on to the next one. Sigmagi saying, hey guys, what do you think of the new Lizardman army? Do you think that all the old armies will have the same fate, or will we see brand new armies? Well, I think we are definitely going to see brand new armies. Some of them will be repacks, but you know, they're not going to throw away the molds and get rid of good models that can be used if there's no reason to do that. You know, we've got Fire Slayers for the dwarfs, the new elves. Who knows what else is going to come out for Age of Sigmar. I think that it's going to be a mix. But yeah, of course we can expect a lot of repacks. I think that's going to happen. I think Games Workshop is probably going to trickle it to us. So, you know, every month, every 2 months, we've basically got another army gets done. So like we just had Lizardman, maybe, you know, next month. The month after that will be another one, and so on. And at the same time, they're bringing new stuff out, like the Archaon models, new Stormcast stuff, new the Fire Slayers, and so on. So, let's see, what other questions do we have here? I think that's pretty much it for the questions. If you guys would like to ask some questions I can answer for the next Q&A, please put your comments below as questions, and then, because this is what I look through when I sit down to do these. So I guess that's pretty much it from you. I guess what I'll do now is I'll talk a little bit about what we've been doing over the last week and our new setup, and I'll take the camera off the stand and we can have a wee look around. So we basically moved from the stable area where we had all of our models and our gaming table, and we basically took over this room here, and this room here is our new gaming room. So we've basically set up this corner here with some computer desks and our painting stations. So This is for me and Yahya basically, and I think it's a little better than before where we were painting on the dining room table. So a nice little area here, and then over here we've brought all of our miniatures and terrain, and we've basically put it into shelves and boxes and so on. And I also I spent all of yesterday wiring in these lights. So before, this room had only this light in the middle, and it was very dark over here, and I just had a lamp kind of pointing onto the table. So I got these double fluorescents, and I basically hung them off the roof with some chains. Like I screwed in some hooks into the wooden roof, and with some chains I've just hung them off there, and they're adjustable. Because they're on chains, I can kind of move the lights up and down as I need. So, you know, if we feel like we need more light on the board, we can just lower them a little bit, and if we need to take away a bit, we just move them up. They were quite easy to install. Just kind of tied the cables to the corners of the walls. I'm going to do a bit more tidy up on the cables later, but main thing is they're out of the way, and they're really bright, and I'm really happy with them. So in the stable where we used to record, we had 2 of these double fluorescent lights above the table, and that was okay. We were using an outdoor halogen lamp to supplement the light, and that wasn't too bad, but we thought, well, because we're doing it again, or we're putting in some lights, we might as well put in more than we think we need and then see how that works. So hopefully with M4 we should be getting some really good light on the board. And I mean, just looking at it, I mean, I'm really impressed with the light, and I think you know, when we get the armies set up on the table and so on, it should be perfect. And then we've got our miniatures cabinet over here. So kind of organized the armies a little more. We've got some dwarfs on the top shelf. We've got Eldar here and Space Wolves, and then we have more Eldar all across this shelf here. A lot of Guardians needing painted, and some artillery. Then we have High Elves, some High Elves here, and some Battlefleet Gothic ships haven't been painted. And then some more Battlefleet Gothic and Chaos, some Chaos over here. And then we have Stormcasts down here, and some Frostgrave bands, and some more Battlefleet Gothic. And then here's the Mordheim shelf. You can see a sea of white undercoated models. That is the Sisters of Sigmar. At the back there's a lot of characters. Nicodemus, Beast Hunter, Johann, Highwayman, Pit Fighter, Ranger, another Pit Fighter, and an unassembled Ogre. And then we've got Middenheimers, the Marienburgers, some Witch Hunters and some Skaven, and some painted Reichlanders and Undead in the corner there. And then below that we have another shelf of Battlefleet Gothic. So we've got a mix of painted Eldar and unpainted Eldar, and some Chaos and Imperial ships, which is pretty cool. And then we've got our Blood Bowl shelf. So here we've got some special characters over there. We've got Morgan Thorg, Ripper Bulgroth, Griff Oberwald, Horkin Heart Ripper, Mighty Zug, and loads of others. You know, Grashanak, Blackhoof, and some other ones. And then we've got an unpainted Wood Elf team. I'm going to get around to that at some point. We have a human plastic unpainted team, and the Orc team unpainted also. That's from the box set. And then we have a painted Undead team, or an Undead Necro team, and High Elves and Chaos Dwarfs. And then if we go further down, we've got some Necromunda. So we have Goliaths, Vansar, Escher, and Orlok. And then we have a whole load of more Battlefleet Gothic ships, some painted, some not. Some needing a repaint because they're from eBay. And then on the bottom there's a few special miniatures and just some other bits and bobs. So there we have it. There's I won't open all them up to show you, but there's quite a lot of nice miniatures that looking forward to painting one day when I get around to it. Some time for it. Then if we come into our next cabinet, we have up at the top, we have our Tyranids, a lot of unpainted foot troopers here, and even the big ones, they need a lot more work on. They were just base coated basically. Then we have my Blood Angels Imperial Knight at the back, and some Eldar, Bloodthirster, some Undead that's in the process of painting. And down here we've got Wraith Knight, we've got Skaven in there, we've got the Blackstone Fortress, Celestin Prime, and then we've got some Space Wolves, and Land Raider. And then my Blood Angels, which are a work in progress at the moment. I still got quite a lot of painting to do on them. And just some miscellaneous bits and bobs at the bottom. What have we got over here? When I was organizing my stuff, I actually found a bag that was 20 years old. Well, it's from when I was a teenager. And in it, I found my Dungeons and Dragons books. Look at this. How good are these books? Look at this. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, 2nd edition Player's Handbook. Wow, I'll tell you, this brings back memories of, being 13 years old, sitting at the dining room table with my brother, using our imagination. Good times. Then we have the Dungeon Master's Guide, 2nd edition. The books aren't in the best of states, that's for sure, but they look like they've been used. These little post-it marks. Wow. And then we have the Monstrous Manual for 2nd edition. So that's pretty cool stuff. I also found actually an heavy metal painting guide from when we were young as well. Check out this. I know it's in a really bad state, but it is 20 years old, and I read through it the other day, or I had a wee read through it. And some of the stuff is just amazing. I really like how they used to write books like this, where there's less of a focus on pushing product into your face and more of a focus on actually hobbying. Metal models, preparation, and some of the way that it's written is just really, really good. So, I'm really glad I found that. And at the back, you've got a whole load of banners that you can cut out. Wow, these were cut out 20 years ago. Yeah, we've come a long way since then, but yeah, classic. So anyway, yeah, and then over here we've got our main shelves, which has got all of our boxes up here, and then we have some Dreadhold and paints there, and some gaming equipment down there, and we've got our 3 copies of the Horus Heresy up there, and yeah, then massive order from Forge World that came in the other day, and a whole box of 40k scenery, including loads of Necromunda cardboard. And then we have a lot of fantasy scenery up here. And over on this side, we can use these cabinets. We've got some 30k World Eaters over there, some more Age of Sigmar scenery, and Battlefleet Gothic down there. So, we just kind of set up. I've got my compressor and airbrushing station up here as well, so I can airbrush on the table. We've put our board, our 6x4 board, on top of the dining table, and it's really, really secure there, with a cloth underneath to protect the table. But we've got an extra section, so we can make this 8x4 whenever we want, quite easily. And then on top of that, we just we've got our mats. So yeah, with the new lights just above it, we should be able to make battle reports, make videos in a much more comfortable environment, which will hopefully be good for our kind of productivity and being able to get a lot more videos and stuff out. So let me just put this back on the stand. And yeah, so that's a little tour. There's a lot more stuff that we're going to be doing, a lot more stuff to come. We're really excited about being in this kind of new room, because being in that stable where we were, although it's quite fun being in kind of your own area, isolated away from the house and stuff, it wasn't really that comfortable. So here is much, much more comfortable, and I think we should have done this months ago, really, but we're just kind of I guess too busy doing other things. So that is pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A and the little tour around our new kind of layout and studio. Yeah, expect a lot of I touched on the fact we're going to do a lot more modeling and painting videos to supplement the battle reports, and generally we're going to start putting out a lot more content. So rather than getting one video every 3-4 days, we're going to try and get into more efficient, high-speed kind of production where we're kind of, we're just getting a lot more content on the channel. And we're really excited about the reports that we're going to be making and all this new stuff that we've got to paint. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching us, and keep liking, commenting, sharing our videos is really important for the channel to grow. We're up to sort of 3,100 subs. That's pretty good. Our patron support has done pretty well over the last couple of weeks. I'm not sure, I think mainly that was because we did this Betrayal at Calth giveaway, and because actually that did so much good for our patron support. We went from 12 supporters to 33 supporters in the last 2 weeks because of that Betrayal at Calth giveaway, I think. So for us to be successful long term, we need more support on Patreon. So I think we're probably going to do another giveaway for Christmas and see if that can help build our support even more. And yeah, just keep pushing to make our channel bigger, put out better content. I think we might start inviting people soon to bring their armies here and play with us, so we get more variety of faces and armies and games. So yeah, we're just going to keep working towards that. So yeah, if you'd like to help us, then we do have Patreon. Like, that is the best way of helping our channel. But if you can't do that, then liking, commenting, getting people to subscribe, sharing, this is all great stuff. So it's been, I guess we've been going for sort of 6 months now, and yeah, we're really happy with it. We're really loving what we're doing. The only problem is, for us to be sustainable, we need more support, basically. We're loving doing this, so there is alternatives where we, if I go back to work and we do the channel as a kind of on the side, then we'll get a lot less content, and it'll be the channel's not going to die no matter which direction this goes in. But our preferred option here is really to do a lot more stuff and get but it's really up to you guys. If you like what we do, then support us. If you don't like what we do, or you don't feel like what we're doing is worth supporting, then it's it's not really worth us continuing, basically. I guess the quality of the stuff that we do is reflected in the support that we get, as well as the other things like comments and views and so on. So a good indicator of whether people want us to continue doing this is the amount of support that we get. So just it is really important. This isn't like it's not about making money. It's about just being able to survive. And yeah, any support, all your support is much needed and much appreciated. So thanks for watching, guys. Please leave your questions for next episode below here, and we'll get around to that. I'll try and do these more regularly from now on, because I know we've had a long break without a Q&A, but we're going to get back into a routine. We're probably going to work on actually putting a schedule together as well, so you kind of know what content's coming where. I know we've been talking about that for a while, but we are going to get around to doing it, especially now. Given this change of environment where we're playing, that's a big step towards efficiency of being able to make videos and general comfort. So it's all good. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Q&A, and we'll catch you guys later.